What's up, everyone? Welcome to Melansic Podcast. We are your hosts, Xavier
and Brian.
If you enjoyed this episode, please
subscribe, review, and share on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and subscribe to our Patreon.
Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Peace.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
Nice camera action, dude.
That's right.
Episode 98.
It's freaking old, dude.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking about it. This is our who is that guy that was married to Jessica Simpson? Nick Lachey. This is our Nick Lachey episode. 98 degrees, boy. Wasn't that the boy band he was in?
I really had to think about it for a minute. I was like, wait.
But I'm right though, right? It was 98 degrees. Wasn't that Nick Lachey?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Was that 90s or early 2000s?
Late 2000s.
It was when she did.
Wait, they were out probably early 2000s.
Yeah, when did they do
all
that?
boy bands kind of like faded out, like right at the
Right.
like 2002, 3 probably.
Was he still in that boy band when they were dating? Because I feel like that was right around when they did that Dukes of Hazzard remake. Did you ever see that movie with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller? Did you ever see that?
No, but question.
Oh yeah, it's just an intro song. We'll mute it.
All right.
Yeah, dude. I think that's the thing. No, we should. Yeah, dude. Episode 98. We've been off for a while. It's been crazy, but been a little busy. But we're back at it now. Yeah, dude.
Bro,
I just got back from Alaska a couple weeks ago. That was dope, dude. It was awesome. I actually went there when I was in like 7th grade, but to go back as an adult, you'd like definitely appreciate things more, you know? And, dude, it was awesome. Like, I didn't really realize this, but what's different from like an Alaskan cruise from like most other cruises is like, especially this one in particular, depending on which port you go to.
Yeah.
Like once you get to like Juneau, a lot of it you're like going through like bigger lakes and all that. So you're really kind of surrounded by like mountains a lot of the time that you're cruising. Or a lot of the times, like if you're in the Caribbean or something, like you might see an island like way off in the distance on the horizon, but for like the most part it's just, you know, deep blue ocean. You know what I mean? So having like nature around you constantly was pretty dope, dude. I have so many pictures on my phone of just like mountains that are incredible, dude. Like any of them, like Microsoft would pay money for to be their next background for like the Surface Pro or something.
So
But it was dope, dude.
I know a lot of cruise ships. There's always like activities and stuff like on the actual deck. Things you go do, but was it like that for this one since it was, what was the temperature? It was like,
well, so I will tell you the temperature was actually warmer than I expected. It was probably like high 50s, low 60s. I will tell you it was probably a little bit too early to do a lot of stuff on the deck. Like there's people out on like the hot tub and all that. But not a lot of action up there yet. That would kind of be like we went the last week of May. I would definitely probably, if I were to do it again, which I probably will at some point, I would go in like June or July. They say the mosquitoes are worse during that time, but I would have preferred it to be a little bit warmer, but the weather wasn't bad. Like but you got to dress appropriately too. Like you got to understand that part of that area in Alaska is actually a temperate rainforest too. So it's like, it's almost, they say like, especially like places like Ketchikan and all that are like you're basically guaranteed to get rain pretty much whenever you go. So, but you got to plan appropriately.
What'd y'all do like on the cruise?
We did a whale watching tour, which I used the app Viator. Have you ever heard of Viator before?
I hear about it like on podcasts.
Pick us up, sponsor us Viator.
It's on a lot of like, it's a sponsor of a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. If you're ever like going to a city and you don't know quite what to do, Viator is a great app to like basically find like the highlight attractions. Like we actually used, so we did that for a whale watching tour in Juneau, which was dope because they told us that we were like guaranteed to see humpback whales. And I was like, guaranteed? Like, how the fuck? And the lady was like, no. They're like so common. We guarantee it. She did say, people kept asking about orcas though. And this was what was cool. She was like, guys, I'll be honest. Like, I've spent, 5 or 6 summers up here. I forget what she said. But she's like, orcas just, they're so fast and they like come up less to breathe than humpbacks do. So they're like, it's much more rare that we see them. She's like, I probably only see them about 5% of my trip.
That's wild. They're just underwater for that long. How long did they tell you any facts? Like,
this lady was very knowledgeable. Like, shout out to her. I forget her, some basic white
whale
name.
lady.
Emily
We'll call her
or
whale lady
Hannah or something.
We'll call her whale lady. Nothing against her weight or anything. Just whale lady.
Yeah, she was very passionate about her work, but yeah, she's kind of weird. But dude, lo and behold, like the last 30 minutes of our trip, we actually came on like a pod of 3 orca whales, small orcas.
So she was like, you might not see them, and then y'all saw a whole pod.
Yep, 3 of them. The lady was losing her mind and it was like definitely cool to see. Yeah. But you could definitely tell like her excitement. She told us that, like I said, like 5 or 6 summers she'd been there. That's probably top like 3 or top 5 trips that she had done with like any tour group. So I was like, all right, that's
so dope. So y'all saw some orcas.
We saw some humpback. We saw multiple humpback whales too.
Yeah.
Come up their tails and all that shit.
You see one like come out and do like a kickflip?
No, nothing like jump out of the water
like
and like
twist 900.
Nothing crazy. And even like the orcas, man, like as cool as it was to like see them in their natural habitat, they weren't like the giant ones like jumping out of the water like you see on Nat Geo. They looked a little bit bigger than like dolphins, and they just kind of like low vibes. Yeah. But it was cool. Like, dude, we followed them there for a good little.
Were you on the actual cruise ship watching it, or they took you to
they go to a smaller boat with like probably 20-30 people on it, and they had like a little indoor area like like that you sat in, and then they had areas on the outside you can go and watch. But it was cool, dude. Like I learned a lot about like that area in Alaska. They get there's so much silt in the glacier water that runs off that's what plankton and shrimp eat. So the humpbacks and all these other whales that are they really go from like the Arctic Circle down to the equator to give birth. So they stop in the Bay of Alaska to basically fill up on food and all that. So that's why they basically like if it's like these 4 months throughout the summer, they're like know that they're going to be there. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. We did another thing. We did in Skagway, which was a cool little town. They got a that's where I texted you. They have that world famous brothel. Actually, I'm good right now. They got that world famous brothel in there, the Red Onion. And shout out there, dude. It's like very touristy for sure. But I sat in there and just chatted up with the bartender for a little bit. That was a good time. Then we actually ended up doing a railway tour. It's kind of the thing to do in that town, where you go like almost 7,000 feet up into the mountains. And again, dude, it's just like everywhere you look in every direction was just like stellar mountain views, like crazy. They had a lot of shit, dude. And this is probably super fucking boring for people, but it was cool to me. They were talking about that was like the Yukon Pass where all the gold rush folks went up when that was like a big deal in like the 1800s. But they said it's like we like actually crossed into British Columbia, Canada for a second. And they said back in the day, there were so many people that came up for the gold rush that were totally unprepared, and they died just to get up there. So the Canadians ended up making it a law. Trying. Yeah, dude, exactly. Because like where I was at, well, if we can get it on the video, that'd be cool. But like where I was at and where most people go in Alaska is just like the very southeastern tip of Alaska. Mm-hmm. Like you're basically in Canada, which the rest of 98% of Alaska is like all up there. So yeah, this was basically people were like just getting to the cusp of like where they needed to be, and then it was a whole nother journey through like bullshit Yukon like snow summit territory to like get to it. So the Canadians set up a checkpoint, and they made it a law that you had to have a minimum of 1 ton of supply for them to even allow you to pass.
Smart. They're like, if you don't have at least this much stuff, you're gonna die.
Exactly, dude. They were tired of people coming up there.
We're trying to help you out.
Yeah, they thought
imagine going all the way up there and being like, "Hey,
nope, you're 1,000 pounds short."
It's like you go into Bonner and they're like, "You don't have pins for your tent."
No,
go home or something like that.
But honestly, though, dude, like if you think about it, like think maybe not like Bonner necessarily, but think about like Burning Man. Like if you just showed up and you're like, oh, I've never been here before. I don't have a tent. Blah blah. Do you think they'd be like, no, dude, you can't.
You have one tent. You don't have a tent to put your tent inside of.
Yeah,
and they're like,
right,
no.
exactly.
And they're
like it's almost like a safety precaution, which is exactly what it was. But anyway, so that was cool. Skagway's a cool little town. I told a buddy of mine, it reminded me of like a Red Dead Redemption 2 expansion pack. You know what I mean? like it's just this little city with like all these like old Western like stores and
made out of just like bark.
But then like all the background in every direction you look is just like beautiful fucking mountains. So that was cool. And then Ketchikan, we went to this like lumberjack show, so that was interesting. Man.
So like, is that like Chippendales but like lumberjacks?
Borderline a little bit. They do sell calendars, which I actually meant to get for Keisha's mom, but we didn't. It was entertaining. I mean, to be honest, man, there's not a whole lot going on in that town.
I didn't imagine
that's
it'd be so
like the only
much
thing to do. There's a cool donut shop that we went to, and there's a couple brews. I got a couple coasters here. That one's from Skagway.
It really is just a country, but it's just cold as hell majority of the time.
Yeah, dude. But like throughout the summer, it's awesome. So like, I would say maybe 20. This is a total guess, but like maybe 25% or less of people stay up there year round. Like most folks go up there for seasonal work for 5-6 months.
I had a buddy who tried to get me to be a whitewater raft guide up there back in like
you would have loved it.
2000, and I didn't want to go.
You would have loved it.
My buddy Caleb, he was like, dude, come up here, man. I was like, nah, I don't regret it either.
You would have loved it.
Nah, I was at that point in my life, I was just filming a bunch of skateboarding. That was my life. I don't regret it.
You would have done. What's that?
There's
movie?
like one girl for every like 25 guys up there too.
Probably, yeah. You would have turned into like Grizzly Man, dude. You would have just been you would have fallen in love with it. You would have became like a nature videographer,
nature boy.
You would have been like, you would have been filming shit for like Discovery and Nat Geo, right? You would have been like skateboarding. No, dude, I'm into mountains.
At that time, I was into conspiracy, so I probably would have went to try to find Bigfoot or something. I don't know. I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's some weird like UFO shit in there. It's like a really super famous spot for a lot of like native tribes too. No, that's like a conspiracy. Like, were they actually here or not? No, they were there. But that was dope, dude. So we left from Seattle. Seattle's cool. We actually went on top of the Space Needle, which I think I sent you pictures of. But definitely do that if you're ever. It's like $35 to go up, and there's really not a whole lot. It's obviously like an observation platform, but they have like places that like sell coffee and like champagne and like little deli foods. But
is it taller than every building in at least Nashville?
You asked me that.
I asked you. I was like,
yeah, because you asked me if it was the tallest one in Seattle, and I was like, no, there's definitely buildings that were taller. But I think at the time it was the tallest because they built it for like the 1962 World Fair.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, look at us, and they wanted something that looked like futuristic, so they went with this concept, which is kind of cool when you like buy a ticket. As you like wait in line to go up, because there's like an elevator that takes you up, and obviously it walks you through like the whole history of like this is why it got founded and this is the construction.
You built it, and
it is cool. It's cool, and then it's the cool thing about it is you can go up there and really stay up there as long as you want. You know what I mean? So
was it a party up there? Or was it like real cool? Like.
No, it's chill. Like I said, it's like it's just like an observation deck.
So it wasn't like a bar or like little shops,
little like delis and like a couple bars and that sort of thing. So people were like drinking, but people weren't like being crazy. Like mostly people like tourists taking like photos and stuff.
Space Needle to me just like sounds like something that would like, oh, this place is gonna be like super cool. You know what I mean?
It's definitely worth it. And then we were there too late. But right at the base of the Space Needle, there's they call it the Cholulu Gardens, which is like
like the hot sauce.
No. I probably butchered that name, but it's like got all these glass sculptures in it and shit. And it looks dope, dude. But we actually, Keisha and I, without knowing, snuck in to that after hours, but they quickly kicked us out. But that was cool. And then our last stop on the cruise was in Victoria, Canada, but we were literally there for like 3 hours. But that is definitely a cool city. If I ever was like up in that area visiting again, I definitely would check out Victoria, Canada. It's super clean, super, like right on the coast there. So like it was a cool like harbor area. But the Empress Hotel is kind of the thing there. Yeah, and we just kind of walked around and like checked out the city lights.
Did you see Drake at all?
No, but we like were joking about that of like I want Drake to know. Checking in, man. I'm like, we're in here.
You okay, man?
But honestly, Victoria, Canada is probably closer to Compton than it is from Toronto. So,
absolutely,
people there.
It's by Michigan,
West Coast Canada. Yeah. Well, and Victoria's like right above like Seattle.
Yeah, it's completely the other side.
Like we left Victoria, Canada at midnight that night. So the cruise ship probably realistically left around like 12:30. And then we were back in Seattle at like 7 a.m. And that was on a cruise ship. So, I mean, it's right there. But, no, it was dope. I highly recommend it. I actually learned that Alaska is the most revisited place in the world. So
people go there for multiple trips more often than any other place.
Yeah, once they go, they go back at a higher rate than any other. And like I told you, so that's definitely a thing. Like I said, if you're going to go, definitely go June, July. And I would, unless you, like, know people up there, I probably would recommend going on a cruise. It's a good way to like get a taste of Alaska. And then like now that I've been there, like I would definitely go back to Juneau. I would definitely go back to Skagway. I don't know if I'd go back to Ketchikan, but like I'm glad we went for a day. But yeah, I mean it's definitely worth checking out. And then people say like the rest of Alaska, like getting out to like Anchorage and all that is incredible, but I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah, you're like, I liked what I saw. I might come back and revisit.
I think if I did that, like, you got to go in, like, the heart of July. Oh, that's another weird thing. Is like, it's light out all the time. From, like, 3:30 in the morning till, like, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It's light out. It's weird. You wake up, it's light out. You go to bed, it's light out. It's weird. Like, you go to bed at, like, sunset.
That's so weird.
It's weird. It's wild. It's wild. But it's kind of cool because it, like... mentally your brain's like, oh, it's not late yet, it's still light out. So
you're like, I don't go to bed yet. It's only that can mess you up.
Yeah, there's a couple good comics on there.
Wait, on the actual cruise?
On the cruise ship, yeah. I'm trying to think of this one lady's name. I can't remember it.
Was she a Alaskan native?
Or no, someone who's
no. Doing like a what do you call it? Like a
they're just like on a contract. Like yeah. Not like a residency. It's just more like a contract. Like they do like a 1 year, like 6 month contract, and they just go wherever. Yeah, this one dude, Ken Boyd, was pretty funny. I gotta be honest, the singers on the ship weren't my favorite, but that's kind of typical on cruise ships.
Yeah.
Usually those singers aren't anything to write home about. But yeah, dude, so many like dope pictures and cool. Oh, I got this one here. You'll get a kick out of this one. The Brass Pick, home of negotiable affections.
What?
Yeah, dude, a little brothel action. Negotiable affections. Sounds like a term you could use in court. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I didn't hire that hooker. That was negotiable affections.
Wow. I mean, there's nothing else to do up there, so I'm guessing that type of business was thriving at one point in time.
Dude, check out this like excellent marketing for that little shop. Stopped in there, was excellent. But isn't that like, I'm telling you, that's how the whole town was. Like you look down one street, so and there's the backdrop
there's like brothels and places to get high.
Yep, exactly. Yep. There's
nothing to do up there. That's what that is. Sounds like you can get into some trouble up there.
Probably.
It's not like LA or something, but still, it's like, what's there to do? You can get eaten by a bear, chased by a moose, go to a brothel, go to a
swipe there. That was on a railway trip. Yeah. It's just if you like love nature and you love like the mountains and all that. Like again, like I could definitely see myself going up there seasonally.
Did you ever see? I want to say Ashley Garrett went up there one time.
Yeah, they went up there a couple years ago.
And I think they had an altercation with the moose. They're apparently really mean because they're really stupid, kind of like alligators.
Yeah, and I believe they're also like super protective too. moose.
Yeah.
Like if you get too close, like it's
They're
one of those
so big.
kind of like geese. Like you can quickly find yourself on their territory without like knowing it. You know what I mean? No, I actually didn't see any moose. I saw a couple otters swimming like in the ports as we came up, and then we saw a bear on the railway trip for just like a quick second. A brown bear, I think.
Dude, I saw this video. Actually, I don't remember if very recently this dude was attacked by a bear and he survived
I saw that. I
might have sent it to you. The first picture I saw was like him like on the ground, like took a picture of himself.
Blood everywhere. Yes.
And like there's a helicopter coming to get him or something, but like he was out camping and you know all the precautions you're supposed to take when you're walking through trails. Like when I went to Sequoia National Forest, I was terrified before I even got on it. I was like, dude, I'm not getting eaten alive. That is one of the worst.
You have to have a gun on you.
One of the worst ways to go.
Yeah.
So me and Kelsey are walking through there, and I'm like singing a bunch of like pop songs and just rap lyrics, just trying to be loud. Just like I don't
deter any.
I don't want any bears. Like I was about to pull out some song I really didn't like just to sing it. Like the bear would be like,
"Nah, fuck that.
I'm not eating that trash." But like,
you think they're all Morgan Wallen fans?
But leave them Broadway girls alone. Bear's just like, I'm not hungry enough for that. I think, what was I gonna say? Oh, so this guy was like doing all the precautions, like singing, being loud, like da 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 da, and he's like, I'm gonna get out of here, you know. And he saw a cub, and he was like, oh fuck, yeah. And then he sees mom, and mom's like, and he's just like, oh my god, this is it.
It's a bad situation.
He does like all like the scream and be loud, but she already was charging him and she didn't care.
I don't think that works when you come across a cub.
And he was like, I gotta protect like the vital stuff, so he like covered up his neck, and she went to town on him. Throwing him around, but he had bear mace, and I don't know if he was able to use it or not, but she bit down on this. What saved his life? She bit down on the can, and it blew up in her mouth.
Oh, damn.
And that's the only reason why he survived.
Damn, that's wild, dude.
I'm not going camping unless I have a gun that can. But the gun you have to kill a bear.
You have to have
like,
a real. Yeah, you have to have like a 50.
You could have like
pistol.
like a Desert Eagle or something.
Yeah, you have something
45 and up, I think.
Yeah. Like that's what those guys take. Like they're packing. God. Yeah, something that'll put a hole through you for sure.
I feel like this is why black people just don't go out in nature.
You know,
a lot of black people like don't take risks because they also did not grow up around a lot of that. You know what I mean?
I think Dalia does a lot of bits about that. And I think it's been coined on social media as just like white people shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Dalia does bits on like white people do things. Like life is so easy for white people that we have to do things that simulate life being hard, like going camping or like whitewater rafting or like going on hikes.
I'll do whitewater rafting.
Like those are things we don't have to do, but like we go do hard things because our life isn't hard enough to like give us some sort of challenge. And it's hilarious.
It really just depends on where you grew up.
Oh yeah,
it absolutely does. You can say it's a race, but like literally, I grew up skateboarding. But like I lived in a Murfreesboro, and it's not like a city. It's not like a downtown, but there was stuff to skate. So it's like I lived in a multicultural community essentially. So it wasn't that crazy. But when I went to school in like Bordeaux, like North Nashville, they were like, "You skateboard, bro?" Like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that didn't really get down with the getting out. Yeah, that was Keisha made the comment that Alaska is very white people shit.
Of course.
She was like, "Yeah, there's just not a lot of people like us up here." I was like, oh. I didn't think of it like that, but
I would definitely assume that same thing.
Yeah, a lot of white people.
I want to go.
I think our next one's going to be in the Caribbean.
I definitely am going to spend some time traveling next couple of years.
Dude, you got to, man. That's
absolutely. I'm going to make it a priority to try to.
Well, one thing that was cool about this cruise with me and Keisha going to Victoria, Canada, that's the 4th including the United States. That's the 4th country we've been in a 12-month span. Because we did our Mexico cruise last June.
Yeah.
And then we did Jamaica, and then we were in Victoria, Canada for literally 2.5 hours. But it counts.
Yeah, it does.
But like we talked about at the beginning, like we didn't feel like we traveled as much as we wanted to in our 20s, and but it's like anything else, man. Like you got to make it a priority, especially like it's a big financial commitment, man. Like I'll tell you, I mean, Kish will get a laugh out of this, but all told, like cruise, drink package, which includes like Wi-Fi, gratuity, a bunch of shit, trip to the spa, all the excursions, like all that. I spent right around like $3,000. Well, plus you factor in like a hotel, flights out there and all that, probably closer around like $3,500.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good chunk of change, man. But kind of nice thing about cruises. I'd say the number one question I get asked a lot about cruises is with the drink package. I will tell you, Princess does it. They've got 2 different packages. One's like roughly $60 a day. One's like $80 a day. So a lot of it depends on how long you're going for. But I will tell you, I drank the maximum like 15 a day.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. They cut you off at 15. But
they cut you off at 15?
Yeah. Well, they don't cut you off. It's just you get charged for every one pass.
Is that 15 drinks period, or like just beers or wine, or
beer, wine, yep, cocktails,
collected.
Whatever. Yep. So but like with the Wi-Fi and all that included, I probably came out maybe a little bit ahead, but like I'll tell you, if you're gonna get the drink package, like you got to drink to get your money's worth for sure. Because like I said, I basically, with how much I drank, I basically offset the cost where like with the Wi-Fi and gratuity and all that included, I came out maybe a little bit ahead, but probably not. Because like you also have days where you're at port. So like if you get at port at 7 to 9 a.m. and you're there till 3 to like 6 p.m., you're not really drinking that day. I mean, besides like maybe at night. But I don't know. It just depends. For me, it's worth it to just not have to like worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I ever do a cruise, which I definitely want to one day, I definitely would do that.
Yeah. It's they're cool, man. It's a good. I've realized cruises are good for me because I have so much ADHD and there's so much shit going on all the time that it keeps me busy. Whereas like relaxing vacations, just like laying at the beach, like that drives me crazy. I can't do it like for more than like a day at a time.
I find stuff to do. Like when we went to we were at DJ's bachelor party, we were out in the ocean, middle of the night.
Yeah,
pretty inebriated, trying to catch
at
fish.
night. It's easy, yeah.
That was a lot of fun
because you're like wasted. But I'm saying like throughout the day, like I can't lay on the beach.
Throughout the day, we just like cooked and went to like look.
Yeah,
the whole thing, like I love going to the beach down there. Like when I was younger, I didn't give a damn about the beach. But now I'm like, I like actually going out there.
Yeah, it's cool. No, I enjoy the beach, and I can do it for I just like if I'm going for like 5 days to the beach, I can't spend 5 days straight just like laying out on the beach ordering drinks. I can do that for 2 to 3 out of those days. Like a couple of those days in there, we gotta go like zip lining
it can't be all day. It can be like wake up, eat, go out to the beach for a couple hours, go do something, come back, chill, go out to the beach at night, or nightclub, whatever, and then go back out to the beach at night.
I like adventure. I need like I said, like zip lining or like whitewater rafting,
something you.
Or like a Jeep tour. Yeah, I need something cool like
you're
that.
You're not going to lay out on the beach and watch Netflix.
Yeah. Well, or even just like, honestly, man, like I like to see a little bit of where I'm at when I'm traveling. Like when we went to Jamaica, like that was like we stayed at a Sandals resort and it was awesome. Like there's really no reason to leave there, but it's like, is that why you went to Jamaica? Is it just like sit on a beach? Like you can do that anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got to get out and like
go see some
shit.
Culture. Go
dude,
do
eat
something
the
you
food.
can't do somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, it's always like I always say, like find out who's like really important from there, and like go to those spots. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
Cool.
I think I honestly think my next trip, I might go down to Texas, hang out with the Texans.
Yeah, dude, you should definitely do that.
I've been talking to Grant about it, and I'm like.
I went down there on the 4th of July, man. 4th of July down there is fun.
So, like, I'm working my new regular job, and then I have my job at Target Optical where I can pick up shifts whenever I want, essentially, which is basically just the weekends. Then I actually might be doing a brand ambassador job. I have like an interview or something this week.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's a phone call, I guess, a preliminary. So like, hey, they're like, you can have schedule out your month when you want to work.
Yeah, that's nice.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard those gigs are pretty solid.
Between those 3 sources of income, I'll be able to save up for some trips and go some places. I've got friends everywhere.
Yeah, dude, especially like in
North
Dallas,
Carolina.
man.
I got New York. My dad's in Vegas. I got friends everywhere, and I'm like, as you know, my life is completely changing. So I'm like, well, what do I really want to do? Time's so valuable. So it's like, what can you do when you're 100 years old and you're looking back? You're like, what do I wish I would have done? It's not going to be, I wish I would have watched more episodes of some TV show or some movie. You're going to be like, I wish I would have went and saw all my friends I've been telling years I'm going to go see, or family members, or I'm going to learn this, so I'm going to create that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Well, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, so I don't know the last time we did a podcast. I did like video with, I helped out.
Yeah, I think it was maybe right after that. It was earlier in May.
Yeah, I think what I done recently was I worked with Jared with Castle Champ stuff and like shot a little video or whatever. You've seen those too, right?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. I kind of like
shout out Castle Champ. Just released their 3rd album. Go download that shit.
That was a lot of fun. Doing that.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun.
And then Ben's side projects, Samuel Saint, him and Mark. Have I showed you that?
Yeah. You haven't shown me the video you came up with, but you showed me some of the stuff.
So the one so I filmed the show with his first ever show in Nashville. He did a couple different songs, but the music videos they've been putting out have been amazing. I wanna honestly I wanna post it, but I'm gonna also put like, hey, not suitable for work, and if you are sensitive to certain things, you might not want to watch it. But they are hysterical.
Facebook will do that already.
The newest one's called Bible Study Night.
Yeah, Facebook's gotten so pussy, it'll flag that anyways. It'll be like, are you sure you
should we try it?
This? Yeah, I mean, try it. Why not?
I don't think
you have the whole music video. Like, is it edited?
I don't know. Yeah, like they're done with the music video and everything. I didn't help film the music video. I filmed a live show that he did, but it's not out yet. The dude who like it was a couple of us all filming. He lives out in LA and he does music videos and commercials and stuff out there. So I'm waiting to see when that comes out. But I gotta show you this.
Yeah,
the newest video
Send
I have.
Through. Post it.
It's phenomenal, man.
People will see it.
We'll post some links to like some of their stuff, everyone's stuff, so I can see it.
Yeah. When it comes out, we'll definitely post it for sure. Speaking of film, I did go see the new Mad Max movie.
I'm jealous. I might.
It was very good.
I might just like get off work one day and just go by myself and check it out because I loved Fury Road.
Yeah, Fury Road, I've always said, was like one of the greatest movies ever made, and I still believe that. This one was very good as well. I don't know if it was as good as the first, which I don't think is a hot take. I think that's pretty much the general consensus.
It's still pretty good.
But pretty fucking good.
Because Mad Max was like a 9.75.
Right. Like, I still have this one at like an 8.5, 8.7.
Cool.
But I'll give you a brief plot line. So, well, we know a lot from... So, it's a precursor. It's like Furiosa's upbringing, right? So, we know from the beginning...
So, Charlize Theron's character, which is now...
Anna something.
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she's a good actress. But so she grows up in like the green place, right? This place of abundance
where they went
that she tries to go to in the first one,
and it's gone,
right? And it's gone. And that's where. Let's see. Hold on. I'm like
without giving away too much.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but like Chris Hemsworth's in it, and I actually thought from the trailer, I thought he played a young Immortan Joe. That's who I thought Chris Hemsworth.
I did too.
Is not. Chris Hemsworth plays like the leader of this other cult that ends up. I think they like this is very beginning. I'm not spoiling it. I think they raid kind of the green place and they end up kidnapping Furiosa. So and then Chris Hemsworth becomes the leader of Bullet Town, which they reference in the first one too, or Gas Town, where they're going to in Furry Road, and then the story unfolds. Hemsworth and Immortan Joe have this beef now, and then they kind of go to war, and Furiosa's in the middle of it. But very good movie, highly recommend.
All right, it's worth spending the money.
Yeah, dude, I went and saw it in IMAX and didn't regret it at all. It was dope, dude.
There's some other stuff that's out. That's
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I've also been watching that saga recently.
I will go pay for that because it's one of the first and only movies that's a trilogy. There's like 3 you can name.
It's a saga now. Yeah.
Well, now this is starting
well,
over. I guess this one's going to be. Yeah. So, from my understanding, this is going to be the first of a new trilogy.
Oh, really? That was not.
That's what I read or heard somewhere.
Okay. So I read the plot line.
I thought it was continuation of the. Well, I guess it is a continuation, but I thought it was completely related to the first 3. The remix, because there's the
original's from like the
70s, and then Mark Wahlberg, Tim Burton's
2001. It's like totally unrelated to all of them.
I disconnect all of those 2 kind of from the new ones. The first
2001 version has nothing to do.
But then
with
there's the original one with James Franco was in it.
Yeah, that's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
And then this is number 4 connected to that.
Yep, there's Dawn, Rise, War, and this one's Kingdom.
Yeah.
But this one takes, from what I read on the plotline, this one takes place like 10 years. So have you seen this renewed saga?
I've seen
the James Franco one.
I've seen the past 3. I have not seen the newest one that's been out.
All right, me neither. So we know that
wait.
No spoilers.
You haven't seen...
I've seen War. I just watched
You haven't seen the James Franco one?
No, I saw that one back in the day, but that was the only one I think I saw.
Did you see the 2 after that?
I never saw the 2 after that until like this week. I binge watched them this last week. Yeah.
Okay.
So we know at the end of War that Caesar dies, which I thought was a weird way to end the movie. Like he just kind of dies and then it's like roll credits. Thought there could have been something maybe after that, but this one, from what I understand, takes place 10 years after Caesar's death, and it is like a whole new thing. But I don't know. Maybe it is a new trilogy. But I kind of figured they all tied the... I think I kind of figured this was the 4th and final chapter of this saga.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
I'll look it up, but for some reason I thought it was a new trilogy. But then they're making...
maybe they're Fast and Furious in it. Or Ice Age in it, you know?
They're making a bullshit new Matrix movie. I'm just like...
Are they really? They're doing Matrix 5?
They're doing a whole new trilogy.
Why?
5, 6. Money grab. I don't know. Like, the last one was horrendous.
Keanu Reeves is in it still?
Yeah, and Trinity. Carrie-Anne Moss. It's just like... We've talked about this probably years ago.
Yeah.
But the feel of that movie was not connected to the originals. Like, if they would have been like, let's capture that same essence from the original trilogy, I'd have been... Yes, even the fight sequences were horrible.
Oh, yeah.
They had some cool concepts in it, but then it was just like...
I didn't even finish that new one.
It also felt very, woke. Like, woke in a bad way, which also I had a whole joke I was going to, not a joke, but, a bit where I was like, the reason why woke is now perceived as something bad all stem from Donald Glover making This Is America. But the timeline doesn't completely line up because
that's all right.
Because 2014 is when woke originally was like a word that was like used by like black activists, like, hey, stay woke, like, watch what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, watch the man, the cop, like, you know what I mean? That's what it originally was, and then it got hijacked by guess who?
The white man.
Karens, all those people.
Yeah.
And now it's been tied into gender and all kinds of other things that it originally wasn't a part of.
Staying woke these days.
When Donald Glover used it, when Childish Gambino, sorry, same guy if people didn't know, when he used it, he was referencing it to like, hey, the original meaning of woke,
right?
And then
woke's been watered down to mean like politically correct at this point, and it's like that's not what we're saying.
Now it's looked at in a bad way because there's people who take the whole woke movement and they just run with it, and they find because
people think that woke means that you're aware of like all these fucking problems in the world, and it's like, no, that's not what that means. What it means is you're aware of the actual fucking problems and what's actually going on, not all the other fucking bullshit that they're distracted. In fact, a lot of people saying they're woke these days are the opposite of that because they're so focused on the wrong bullshit anyways. But I remember...
it's like equal rights for everybody. I'm down, but then they're finding people, like, they're finding little subcategories to, like, worry about and just things. I'm like, dude,
that's not
you bringing
right.
I feel like a lot of it is like people bringing the attention to like, oh, what about this?
And it's like that's not an actual problem. That's a problem in your universe.
It's like they're making it into a problem. Some of it, but it's just like,
but like the government poisoning our water for all of us. Like that's a real fucking problem that like nobody wants to fucking talk about. The government poisoning like our food source is like a real fucking problem that nobody wants to fucking talk about. You know what I mean?
Talk about it, but
not like your caramel frappe has too much ice in it. Stay woke. You know what I mean? Like that's not a thing, lady.